does what you ask it to do.
It's instruction oriented. It's not. It doesn't.
Well,
it doesn't itself feel pleasure or pain when it succeeds or fails. You see.
no.
So the success or failure is not tied into nature. The success or failure is tied into you say do this, don't do this. Does that make sense?
Oh,
It's innately bureaucratic. A bureaucracy operates from the top down, right? Because you give a bureaucrat orders, and he does what you say and not what you mean. Whereas a business, for example, that's trying to please the customers, it grows from the bottom up. Because you're trying to, the more customers that come in, the better your reward is. The reward is in their hands, not in the hands of your instructions. And so sometimes you decide to disobey the instructions, and you carry the groceries to the car even though you were told not to do that because it was an old lady or something. You see what I'm saying? You know when to break the rules if you have a principle.
Yes.
How do you build principles into AI, though? Is it even possible? I suspect it might be, like in Isaac Asimov's Rules or something, but I just wrote a whole science fiction book saying it wasn't possible. Can computers learn a conscience? Can they get a heart like the Tin Woodman?
Well, this is one of the really concerning things I saw. Someone was discussing this. I was watching a few videos on it, and I thought this was a really interesting, absolutely terrifying one. Say you give the AI the rule: always tell the truth. That seems reasonable. It's
a good rule. Sure.
That seems like a perfectly reasonable rule. And then you go and get your big training set of data, and you train it to. So when you're training an AI, you go, here's a question, give me the answer. Either I go, yay, yes, you did that right, or no, you did it wrong, and then it'll adjust itself so it weights towards doing it right.
Right.
Now, what happens when you give it that rule? Well, when the goal you're trying to train it to is always tell the truth, and you give it a training set that has some mistakes in it.
It doesn't know the Platonic ideal of the truth to compare the answer to.